Tommy Lee Jones didn't face many problems early in his acting career because he was smart enough to follow his director's lead. But behind the camera, his life was full of struggles that few people knew about. Tommy spent most of his life running from a painful and violent past. His father was abusive, his marriages often failed, and he turned to drinking to cope with the pain. Now, as he nears 80, people say his health and memory are fading. At a recent movie premiere, he seemed confused and even forgot that he had acted with his co-star. Friends who saw him said he looked weak and tired. He has stopped working in movies and rarely leaves his Texas ranch. After years of being known as the strong and silent type, the man behind that tough image is finally showing his vulnerability. The truth about his difficult final years is starting to come out. Tommy Lee Jones was born on September 15, 1946, in a small Texas town called San Saba, which had only about 3,000 residents. His early life was chaotic. His father, Clyde, worked in the oil fields and had once been a cowboy. His mother, Lucille, worked several jobs at once, including being a police officer, a schoolteacher, and a beautician. Their marriage was rocky. They got married, divorced, and then remarried twice. People in town often gossiped about them. Tommy grew up watching his parents argue, separate, and reunite again and again. Each time they broke up, the family moved to a new place, which made his childhood unstable. Because of Clyde's work in the oil fields, they never stayed in one place for long. These early years shaped Tommy's personality, making him serious and emotionally guarded. Even as a young boy, he learned to hide his feelings. Life at home was much worse than it looked. Clyde had a bad temper and drank heavily. After long, hot days in the oil fields, he would come home exhausted and angry. If young Tommy made even a small mistake, like tracking mud into their trailer, his father would explode with rage and beat him. Things became worse in the early 1950s when oil prices fell, and Clyde was out of work for 6 months. Their trailer park neighbors often heard screaming and loud crashes late at night. Years later, Tommy said that his childhood included a good deal of physical abuse. To survive, he learned how to read his father's moods and stay silent. That still, unreadable look that later became famous in Hollywood came from those childhood days when showing fear could make things worse. One tragic morning in 1954 changed everything. Clyde was working on an oil rig when a gas pocket suddenly exploded. It was just before 4 in the morning, and the fireball shot nearly 200 feet into the sky. 2 men died, and the intense heat melted equipment nearby. Clyde was badly burned, with third-degree burns covering 30% of his body. He spent 3 months in the hospital. Tommy, who was only 8 years old, started doing small jobs to help his family survive. He never forgot seeing his father's pain. That explosion taught him how fragile life could be. Because of all the moving, Tommy attended many different schools. By age 12, he had already gone to 7 schools across Texas. Every time he started to feel settled, his family would move again. His grades dropped, and he struggled to fit in. At Robert E. Lee High School in Midland, wealthy students often looked down on him because his family didn't have much money. But Tommy was tall, strong, and determined. Standing 6'1" and weighing about 200 pounds, he joined the football team and used sports as an outlet for his anger. His playing style was intense, sometimes too aggressive, and he even got suspended a few times. But on the field, no one dared to mess with him. When he was 13, Clyde got a job in Libya, but Tommy stayed in Texas because he earned a scholarship to St. Mark's School of Texas, one of the best private schools in the state. During summers, he worked alongside his father on the oil rigs. Those jobs were long and dangerous. He worked 14-hour shifts in temperatures over 100 degrees. He handled heavy machinery, cleaned toxic chemicals, and saw coworkers get hurt. Once, he saw a man lose 3 fingers in an accident. Another time, a massive drill bit fell and nearly killed him. Those years taught him toughness, discipline, and a deep respect for hard work, lessons that stayed with him for life. In 1965, Tommy earned a scholarship to Harvard University. He lived in Mower Hall, and his roommate was Al Gore, who would later become Vice President of the United States. The two became close friends, sharing long talks about books, politics, and life. Their friendship lasted for decades, and Tommy even supported Gore's presidential campaign in 2000. He graduated from Harvard in 1969 with a degree in English literature. He often said that Harvard taught him how to think and that learning itself became the foundation of his acting career. While at Harvard, Tommy played football as an offensive guard on the undefeated 1968 team. That season ended with a legendary game against Yale, which ended in a 29-29 tie after an unbelievable comeback. The next day, Harvard's student newspaper ran the headline "Harvard beats Yale, 29-29." Tommy was on the field that day, part of one of the most memorable moments in college sports history. Besides sports, Tommy also discovered his love for acting while at Harvard. He performed in several plays, impressing professors and classmates with his raw emotional intensity. He acted alongside other talented students like John Lithgow, and people quickly noticed that Tommy had something special. After graduating, he moved to New York to pursue acting professionally. In New York, he started in theater, appearing in plays like A Patriot for Me and Fortune in Men's Eyes. To make a steady income, he joined the soap opera One Life to Live, where he played Dr. Mark Tolan for 4 years. His first movie role came in 1970 with Love Story, a huge success that made over $130 million. The film's main character was even loosely inspired by Tommy and Al Gore, who had inspired the author during their Harvard days. As the years went on, Tommy began to take on more challenging roles. He portrayed the eccentric billionaire Howard Hughes in The Amazing Howard Hughes, 1977, a role that proved he was more than just another actor. Around the same time, he appeared in Rolling Thunder and Eyes of Laura Mars, earning praise for his intensity and realism. Though his Hollywood career was taking off, Tommy's heart remained in Texas. He built a ranch there where he could play polo and live quietly away from the spotlight. In 1980, Tommy starred in Coal Miner's Daughter, playing Doolittle Lynn, the husband of country singer Loretta Lynn. The movie became a massive hit, earning $67 million and several awards. It showed Tommy's talent for portraying tough men with hidden emotional depth. Then came The Executioner's Song in 1983, where he played a real-life killer named Gary Gilmore. His performance was so powerful that he won an Emmy Award. Over the next decade, Tommy's career continued to rise. In 1993, he won an Oscar for his role as U.S. Marshal Samuel Gerard in The Fugitive, opposite Harrison Ford. The film made nearly $370 million worldwide and cemented his status as one of Hollywood's top actors. Despite the success, filming was difficult. Ford injured his knee and back, and the shoot was physically demanding for everyone involved. A year later, Tommy played a wild prison warden in Oliver Stone's Natural Born Killers. His over-the-top performance shocked audiences, and the movie was so violent that it nearly received an NC-17 rating. In 1995, he appeared in Batman Forever as Two-Face, but the experience was tense. He famously told co-star Jim Carrey, "I hate you. I cannot sanction your buffoonery." The two barely spoke during filming. Then came Men in Black in 1997, one of his biggest hits. Acting alongside Will Smith, he brought humor and authority to the role of Agent K. The movie made nearly $600 million and spawned sequels. Even though the filming was fun, it wasn't without chaos. Tommy accidentally broke props and made silly sound effects that ruined takes. In 1999, he starred in Double Jeopardy, performing his own dangerous stunts, including one where he nearly drowned during filming. He refused to use a stunt double, saying he wanted the scenes to feel real. Throughout the 2000s, he continued to take on serious, thoughtful roles in films like The Three Burials of Melquiades Estrada, which he also directed, and No Country for Old Men, which won multiple Oscars. His ability to say so much with silence made him unforgettable. As he got older, Tommy's roles became more reflective. He appeared in The Company Men, Lincoln, and The Homesman, showing his range as an actor and director. But behind the success, his personal life was full of challenges. His first marriage, to Kate Lardner, ended in divorce after 6 years because of his obsession with work. His second marriage, to photographer Kimberly Clowley, lasted nearly 15 years and produced 2 children, Austin and Victoria. However, rumors of affairs and constant filming caused tension, and they divorced in 1996. He later met Dawn Laurel, a camera assistant, while filming The Good Old Boys in 1995. They fell in love and got married in 2001. They built a quiet life together on their Texas ranch, away from Hollywood. But in 2024, rumors surfaced that Dawn had serious health issues. Jones stopped taking new roles and stayed close to her at their ranch, where they live quietly surrounded by horses and open land. Over the years, rumors have circulated about Tommy's temper and drinking, especially in the 1980s. Co-star Linda Hamilton once said she hated working with him during Black Moon Rising because he was drinking heavily at the time. But Jones never publicly discussed his struggles. He's had many ups and downs with his ranch life, too. In 2010, a guest was injured during a polo match and sued him for over $2 million, claiming the conditions were unsafe. Jones won the case but had to pay hundreds of thousands in legal fees. He also suffered serious injuries himself, including a bad fall in 1998 that left him unconscious. His children have mostly stayed out of the spotlight. Austin, his son, became a musician and released albums instead of pursuing acting. Victoria appeared briefly in a few of her father's movies but didn't continue with acting. Jones is known for being strict and demanding, even with his kids. In late 2023, people began to notice troubling signs about his health. At the premiere of Finest Kind, he looked frail and disoriented. When standing beside actress Jenna Ortega, he forgot that they had acted together. She gently reminded him, but the moment went viral, and fans began to worry. Speculation spread about whether he was battling memory loss or illness, but no official statement ever came. Financially, Tommy has also taken some losses. He sold his polo estate in Florida for far less than he originally wanted, losing nearly $16 million in the process. Still, with a lifetime of work behind him, his estimated net worth in 2025 remains around $100 million. He has made his mark with over 70 films, countless awards, and unforgettable performances. Today, Tommy Lee Jones lives quietly on his Texas ranch, far from the spotlight. He rarely gives interviews or makes public appearances. His face, once known for its fierce expression, now shows the weight of time and experience. Despite the pain, loss, and loneliness, he remains one of Hollywood's most respected actors, a man who turned a lifetime of struggle into a legacy of strength and truth.